Hello and welcome to a new season of the Formula One Fans UK podcast. I'm Reese and I'm joined today by...
Chris.
Danny, welcome back.
I love it, Danny.
Well, that's an American for you.
Welcome back, buddy. He can't even wait.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. New season. Welcome back.
Can't wait for a cue for his name. Just jumps in like everyone's come back to see Danny. Well done, Danny.
Isn't the whole reason anyone listens to this podcast is because of Danny?
Technically, Daniel comes before Danny.
Technically,
Well, this is what we're saying. That's why Dan was trying to go first.
but
I had to jump the gun. I had to jump.
yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, man.
Yeah, it's not like an American to jump the gun, is it?
Hey, we're holding on to our guns pretty tight right now.
Yeah, Biden's a bit, holding his wallet, isn't he?
Yep.
Do you imagine if that was Trump?
we don't have an hour to discuss politics. Let's start with F1, Chris.
We'll talk later.
So I think we'll get into it. We're just saying there's a new format to the podcast now. We are not going to do long-winded race reviews going over every team. No one here wanted to talk about Antonio Giovinazzi for three minutes last season, and I don't think anyone wanted to listen to it from every single F1 podcast, including our own. So we are focusing and diving deeper into the issues in Formula One surrounding it.
We're going to make ourselves sound intelligent.
Hey,
We're good at that.
you speak for yourself. I have no intention of doing that.
Thank God for Wikipedia.
Thank God for Twitter.
Yeah. F1 Twitter's been really big.
It's been good.
Yeah, it's been really good.
But without trying to stay political, talk about our first subject, which is the war in Ukraine and the effect it's sort of had. We didn't want to get political. We're setting a rule after this episode. We're not going to talk about the war.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the war, apart from, the genocide and human cruelty that is taking place at the minute. But put that aside, it's going to have an effect on Formula One, and I think it's going to have more of an effect on Formula One than people actually realise. Obviously, Haas have taken the hit, if it is a hit, by losing Ural-Kali. Now, we've got the Russian oligarchs that have got themselves tightly woven into sport. And this was the case with Haas, of Chelsea Football Club. And now that a contract has been voided by the team, there's going to be question marks on financial penalties, possibly for Haas. How much have they been paid for this season from Ural-Kali in advance? Are they going to have to give them that back because Ural-Kali has now been, what's the word? Somebody?
Sacked.
Dropped.
Sanctioned.
Okay. Sanctioned. That's the one. Thank you. So does Ural-Kali exist as a known entity to give money back to? Big question.
It'll be a lot cheaper to pay them back now, given what's happened to the ruble.
The ruble has plummeted, yes. I think a tin of Coke is probably €1,000 ruble, which is the equivalent to about 5p. If you look on a map, the Ukraine is bordered to Budapest in Hungary. And is, as the talk goes, if Putin takes the Ukraine, he is considering pushing on into Europe. So that puts into question...
It's all scepticism, though.
Oh, scepticism, but you've got the question mark of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And straight after that, possibly the Austrian Grand Prix if they push through quickly. We've also got to look at flights for the teams to be moving their equipment around the world. There's now a huge big circle around Russia that's a no-fly zone. So teams are now going to be spending more on their team budgets for more airline fuel for planes now to divert around Russian airspace. Go ahead, Reese.
Yeah, so I think there's this big issue of traveling to all these countries now with the calendar and what happens if Ukraine do fall to the Kremlin and everything like that, and what will they push on? And there's all these countries that they border Russia. Finland, of course, borders Russia, and so you have Finnish drivers who'll be affected. You've got Azerbaijan bordering Russia. You've got Turkey. If we have a race there, so even I'm trying to think, does Turkey border Russia? Either way, they're very pally with the Russians as well. Turkey. I mean, there's a reason the peace talks are in Turkey.
I didn't realize Sochi was so close to the border.
Yeah, that's why it was so amazing. Well, it's amazing, shocking to know what was going on in Crimea, and then they go, "Oh, let's have a race in Sochi." I mean, that shows the difference between what currently runs Formula One, the Liberty Media, to the old twat Bernie Ecclestone, who, I mean, is a big fan of Vladimir Putin. Something about old men obsessed with power that they like to link up together, don't they?
Sochi's going to be a circuit that's sad to lose, though. It was a good circuit.
Is it?
That turn 3 was fantastic.
Yeah, but one corner doesn't make a race circuit.
No, but they put on a good show at Russia. Yeah, didn't we have a flying Mark Webber? That was Russia, wasn't it?
No, Valencia.
Valencia. Okay, just added that bit out there. Anyway,
He would have taken off in Russia because it's a no-fly zone.
That was a good one.
But yeah, looking at the airfares, are we going to have to see some sort of increase in the team budgets through the year to cover the increase in cost of gas, of oil, because it's not just a knock-on for directly with Russia. There's everything in the world is going to be affected.
Yeah, but I didn't think travel and expenses were part of it. No.
Yeah, everything's part of your budget.
Part of your team costs, but you've got to think even just the fuel suppliers. I think Shell are the fuel supplier for the Ferrari engines.
Yeah,
and they have been turning away fuel that is sourced through Russian oil. So I mean, there is going to be these
issues.
costs. Teams, there's going to be logistical issues that everyone's going to face.
But we're running 10% biofuel, so we'll be okay.
It's good because we can plant this stuff.
The final thing I have to say about Russia is people need to wind their necks in about why Mazepin was sacked from Haas. He wasn't sacked because he's Russian. He's sacked because he was provided the Haas on the back of a sponsorship arrangement with Uralkali, who can now not do anything with Haas because they've been sanctioned. So Haas are getting no money to run the Masi, the crap one. They're not getting any money to run him. So why would you? They've brought in a cracking signing in K-Mag. And I think that's going to bring more success for them in the future. And now I'm going to pass on to Reese, who I think wants to talk about Mazepin.
Yeah, it's not the route that I thought I'd be going after we were talking about the terrible things that are happening in Ukraine. Sorry, the terrible things that are happening in Ukraine. I've gone all American and referred to it as the Ukraine, which is wrong. I also will say that anyone who says Kiev has to pay for a month of the podcasts.
It used to be
airtime.
Kiev, though.
So, no, it's never been Kiev. It's always been Kyiv. It's just because you Americans bastardize every single language. Danny, spell colour for me.
Color,
Ooh.
COLOUR or COLOR.
Okay, now say aluminium for me.
Aluminum.
You see, you can't do it. You see,
Aluminium. Yeah, I know, it sounds funny. No, but I wanted to add something. Another something that's gone under the radar, but Kaspersky used to used to be a Ferrari sponsor, and they've also been dropped, and that's a Russian cybersecurity company, and they've been dropped.
We don't really want Russian cybersecurity on our home computers.
Don't that company run the whole logistics and everything and technical information for Ferrari? I'm pretty sure in all the adverts I've seen, like the little, I'm pretty sure they were there, like they were running the data management for Ferrari.
I'm sure that
logistics, as far as I'm aware, are universally DHL.
No.
Which is
no.
And Ferrari has UPS, right?
UPS.
I mean, like the data logistics of the company, like all the data, everything was done
information technology.
Yeah. All of it was done for that. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't just get rid of a whole company that has.
Yeah, but there's going to be another There's going to be another company that's going to quickly put in a bid to take that job off their hands. You know, America's coming down with them.
I'll be honest with you. I think Ferrari would be lying. Like,
they've ran tobacco sponsorship still after what, 15 years it's been banned.
Yeah,
Race. Who did you just have pop up on your computer? Was it McAfee?
Yeah, McAfee.
There you go. McAfee can do it.
Mate,
there you go, Ferrari. There you go, Ferrari. We've sorted it for you. McAfee's going to do your IT.
I wouldn't even trust them with my bloody Tesco order. They are litter. Like, legit.
And now we've solved Ferrari's IT crisis. We'll move back onto the subject that we were looking to talk about, and that was Nikita Mazepin, because he's still got to be talked about in this podcast, because he has gone and started his own federation called We Compete as One, which greatly misses the point of everything that has been going on, acting like the Russian athletes are
and only has one member.
Yeah, one member.
It's gonna be a 3-man race with Daniel Kvyat. It's gonna have Vitaly Petrov and Mazepin going around Turn 3 Sochi in all its full glory.
Yep, covered by no TV stations.
But no, his federation or foundation or whatever you want to call it, it's grossly missing the point. But there's images that have been going around since Drive to Survive, and without trying to put a Drive to Survive spoiler out there is an episode with the Mazepins.
I haven't watched it yet.
Don't spoil it.
I haven't watched it yet either, but the image going around is one of a certain ribbon that Dimitri and at times I think Nikita has also worn this.
Is this thing with Leningrad?
This is the black. This is the black and
black and orange.
It's the
right?
black and orange. Yes.
It's a pro-Kremlin ribbon.
Yeah, so I've done some reading into this, and it's been pointed out that the orange and black ribbon worn by Dmitry Mazepin is a symbol of pro-Kremlin Russian patriotism, often worn by supporters of Russia's annexation of Crimea and the current invasion of Ukraine. So, as you can see, they're dickheads. I think that's the technical political term.
Thought we weren't talking about Ukraine anymore.
No, but more. It sort of ties back in, unfortunately, with what's going on. But it just shows that there is more to this dropping of Nikita Mazepin. Whilst we say it's all about Uralkali and whatever, there are obviously some political views that are very much against what everyone is saying.
Didn't they come out and say that it wasn't only Mazepin's dad that was sanctioned, that Mazepin himself had been sanctioned?
Yeah, they have both been sanctioned. No, so it's just just ridiculous that he thought that was going to be a good idea, and like how he even tried to use the whole "we race as one" and "we compete as one." He was really trying to act like he was the victim, which is just ridiculous.
In the words of
Some of
James
his-
Hunt, bullshit.
I just want to say one thing, right? As much as we dislike Mazepin for valid reasons, I personally think that for him to go out that way from Formula One is a bit harsh on him because
No,
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 not at all.
I do because I believed if he was gonna go, he should have gone for what he did in the taxi or car or whatever it was with that girl. That should have been where he went. He should
but
should
that
have
was-
never even
that's-
been allowed to get this far.
That was
So if
down-
anything, you
that
can
was
feel
down to
even
Haas,
less-
though, at the end, or they
I see.
wanted to keep the sponsorship. They were now in a position
At
where
the
they
end of the
couldn't
day-
keep the sponsorship.
yeah. So at the end of the day, you have even less reason to feel sorry for him because he got 12 months more of being a Formula One driver than he should have done.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a bad way to go from Formula One, really. But and the thing is, he's never ever going to get another chance either. Like that's it, done.
No,
That's it.
Now, would you want to get another chance?
He didn't show anything enough in F2 to deserve a chance anyway.
He was the sixth best driver
if Ural Kali
that year.
if Ural Kali hadn't been on that car last year, he wouldn't have been saved. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No,
But
well, he'll
whilst
be
we-
lucky if he gets an F2 drive in the future.
With that, I think, well, he won't be able to race in F2 anyway because he's been sanctioned and
You'll be
Yeah,
lucky if
well,
you can
with
drive an
sanctions,
they
Uber.
can't, and he can't race.
Eventually.
But what we can say is talking about talking about what was on last year's cars, we can now talk about what's on this year's cars because Danny has been dying to talk liveries and design, and he's got a lot of paper in front of him. So
So, let's talk about
shout.
2022. Let's talk about 2022 and the new car that we're going to be having. I'm just going to hit quick bullet points. I'm trying not to bore everyone here. But big changes. Front wing is going to be more neutral. It's going to be less aero sensitive. So when a driver is running close behind, the wake is going to be so terrible. It's going to remove some of the vital vortexes that 2021 car had. That the Y250 vortex that we probably heard about. So that's going to be changed. The rear wing, in combination with the front wing, it draws the wake that the front wing produces and brings it up and over the following car instead of directly into it. So we should have, theoretically, more wheel-to-wheel racing this year. And we've had some great examples in qualifying. I mean, not in qualifying, in testing of, pretty decent racing. Stroll, we saw Stroll the other day. We saw Hamilton and Gasly go together. That was quite a drive. And Chris, what do you think?
Just what you said in there. I can't remember who it was came out and said it. There is a hole behind the car in front, but you can get in that hole, but we cannot get further than that. So although we've been promised more side by side, drivers are starting to say we can't get out from behind the car to be able to get up alongside them.
you say that, but part of racing is you don't. I mean, it's nothing's given to you in motorsport. Nothing should be given to you. If you can get right up behind them, yeah, sure, you might have to pull alongside them, but it means you'll have to be braver on the brakes. You'll have to be inventive, and I don't think overtaking necessarily makes a good race. I mean, we're doing a poll currently in our Facebook group, and one of the more successful races that made it further in the competition was Imola 2005.
Well, Imola 2005
2000
had a little bit of overtaking the whole race.
A little bit of overtaking, not much at all. I mean, but what was so dramatic about it was Schumacher getting up close and not quite being able to get past. And
No,
I would
Imola.
rather
That was
have-
Imola.
sort of said him like, yeah.
You said Spain.
Spain.
Does he Spain?
Chris is deaf as well as ginger. So fuck Chris.
I'm not ginger, I'm grey.
Yeah, and what's left and right of the grey, Chris? Tell me. Well, what's that, fam? Yeah, that's ginger.
I just haven't washed those sides.
I'm not going to say anything about ginger beards because I bought one myself. But no, I think I would rather have.
And it'll grow when you hit puberty.
I would rather have, say, in a race you've got like 60 laps. I'd rather have 40 laps where you've got side-by-side action rather than 20 laps when you've got overtakes. I'd rather just see cars fighting because I don't think the overtakes what makes it special. It's the battle itself that is more spectacular.
To take away from what Danny's probably about to say, we got bigger DRS this year.
I was going to give an example of last year. Hungary, the reason why it was such a great race last year is because we saw Hamilton coming up the grid, coming up the field, and blocked by Alonso, and they had a great scrap for 7 to 10 laps, something like that. So I get what Reese is saying. There wasn't that much overtaken in that race. We saw Vettel struggle behind Ocon the whole race, but you did have some battles, and the good races will be remembered by the battles that it had. But let me continue with next year's car. Just a couple more things. The floor, we've all seen the floor has been changed. The shape has been changed. Now underneath the floor we have tunnels, produces a good ground effect. So most of the downforce is going to be generated through there, and that also produces less disruptive airflow for the car behind. The bodywork, the shape of the car, if you look at the side profile, it's much cleaner, especially around the barge board area and the side around the cockpit. It's just more cleaner. And a good example of that this year, there's opposite ends. We've all seen Mercedes, no side pod pretty much concept, and that looks like super clean. But then at the opposite end, you have Ferrari's side pods, which are bulbous and huge. And
beautiful.
It is beautiful,
gorgeous,
beautiful curves on it.
I would like to say to the lady that put the game out of, she's doing a shot every time we hear the word bulbous on Sky F1. I would like to know how she got on. I would like to know how drunk she got.
Porpoise.
Porpoising.
Porpoise,
I would
yeah,
like to know
every time.
She got the 7:30.
Well, she listened to the podcast. If she's listening to podcasts, I have to take a drink for that word.
Porpoise.
Oh, shit.
Porpoise. Porpoise.
So let me finish up. And then also the weight. The weight of the car has changed. It's gone up in weight, 790 kilos. New wheels are a big factor on that. But just an increase on the safety requirements, and also the tires are less prone to overheating.
So you say the weight's gone up. The weight's gone up even further.
Yeah, the car used to weigh 754 or 752. Now it's up to 790. So it's a difference. And the wheels, the new rims going to the 18-inch rims, that's also a weight gain in there as well.
But that's not what I was saying. The weight has actually gone up since teams had a meeting in Bahrain. The standard weight's gone up again because they've increased the weight of standard parts to try and counter, Danny, porpoising.
Take that drink.
Just a couple
Danny,
of things on what Danny said there. There was images today on Sky Sports News. No, Autosport. I will, promote both Sky Sports News and Autosport as fine members of the press, like ourselves.
Is there anyone in
but I had
particular that you
pictures-
like on Sky Sports? Just out of curiosity.
I like a few people.
Can't think of anyone.
But off the top of my head,
Let's not go there, please. Let's not.
No, we don't want to be bad.
Can we?
Autos, you know what? Ted Kravitz, man's a genius.
Ted Kravitz is the reason that I am okay with still having Sky and not being able to get F1 TV.
I totally queued for an hour to meet him once. The porpoising. There was pictures of in Autosport of the Mercedes team during Friday testing, cutting pieces in the floor, at the rear end of the floor, trying to combat the porpoising. And it also it showed basically that Mercedes, as much as everybody likes to think of sandbagging, they're not on top of that car.
They really struggle on high fuel in low speed corners. I mean, lots of teams are struggling, but Mercedes in particular, they have some catastrophic understeer.
An awful porpoising.
Before I drink, let me make my point. Last year at Bahrain, I don't know, not to spoil anything if you haven't seen Drive to Survive, but Mercedes came into 2021 testing also with a pretty bad car, and they were written off by some of the experts, Karun Chandok.
Wait.
Do you mean Karun Chandok, who says he likes to stay on the fence, but said, I'm all in on Red Bull this year?
Oh, he said it.
Expert.
He also
defended want to hear
his...
you say that again in your life. Ever. I never want to hear those two words together. Ever.
Or porpoising?
No.
Porpoising? Oh, shit.
No.
What, Chandok an expert?
Yeah, never, ever. In my life again.
To be honest, I do look at like some of the pundits you get on F1 and on Sky, and I do think you've got all these ex-drivers, but Billy Monger is a better pundit than the majority of them on Channel 4. I think he
I like Alex Brundle.
Alex Brundle's good as well.
He is going to be in the game for as long as his dad. I see it.
But it's also on merit. He's pretty good. I can see him taking over his dad.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it'll be on merit because he is really good.
Just give me the Channel 4 team with Ted Kravitz.
Also, I really like Joe Lynn Palmer as well. I really like him.
Yeah.
Have you guys caught? Well, he's running a really good series right now on classic races, and he's given his analysis of it. It's a must see.
Who's giving that? Sorry,
Jolyon Palmer.
Jolyon Palmer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit driver, but he's a really good eye. It's really good experts.
Yeah, he's a very good pundit.
Yeah.
I do rate Billy Monger, but
yeah,
it's going to sound awful, but he is just lacking that experience to be able to talk about a driver's perspective to a certain degree.
Well, so is Karun Chandok, and we still
fair one.
Yeah. Karun Chandok knows exactly what the cars look like in his mirrors as they come to lap him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, with those, what is it, like 11 races or something like that? It keeps flashing up on the graphic.
He had a season at like HRT, and did he not race with someone else as well?
No, Lotus.
He might have been Team Lotus / Caterham.
Yeah, Team Lotus, not yeah.
Because they always put it underneath his name in the graphic on Sky, like 11 races. Are you joking me? Like,
doesn't he have the record for the lowest position in a race where everybody competed in? I think he had 24th place. In the Chinese Grand Prix where everybody finished the race, he was last.
Was it Karun Chandok or was it Naren Kartikeyan who had that record?
Oh man, now I feel bad. I don't know.
Damn.
I gotta look that one up.
Someone, Danny. Damn. Damn, Danny. Reese got you.
I thought you knew
Reese got you.
everything.
Yeah.
No, I don't, unfortunately.
There's an American
Anyway,
that
Danny.
admits he doesn't know everything.
I think he did, but then you kept saying porpoising and he had to keep drinking.
Shit.
Have you
I didn't
completed
mention porpoising.
your bit, Danny?
I actually had one more topic that I wanted to talk about. But we're going to be returning to Melbourne, Canada, Japan, Singapore this year. So,
are we back in China?
And we're back in China, yeah. Yeah, for the time being.
Yeah, I can see that one being iffy.
Yeah, but they have signed a contract for multiple years. So they're going to be in the calendar for sure. But I don't know, it's just great. Canada is one of my favorite tracks. Melbourne's going to be there's going to be changes to the track so to provide better racing. Suzuka is a driver favorite, and that's coming back. And Singapore is just it's a really great race to have in that part of the world. And then Miami makes its introduction this year, aka the Influencer Grand Prix. I'm going to call it. That's going to be very shortly in May 6th to 8th, and of course Russia is canceled. Wah, wah.
Just remember that is all subject to COVID, and COVID ain't gone away.
No, as we're seeing right now with Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, Well, that's actually, schedule is pending a catastrophic return.
But speaking of catastrophic returns, one return that would be catastrophic that isn't going to happen is what Dan wants to talk about. So, Dan, take it away.
Yeah, I've picked the best subject that actually, to be fair, nobody even thought of. The fact that we have no Michael Masi. The fact that public opinion, FIA ruling, and regulations actually did its job. Too late, but it did its job. Yes, Chris.
When are the FIA going to actually show us the ruling? Because they got away with it in Ferrari, but they cannot get away with it again.
It's coming after Bahrain, is it not?
But they're going to. They're going to get away with it. They didn't release Ferrari's power unit situation back in 2019, and they're not going to release this.
They will release this. They have said that they are going to release it. The Ferrari one didn't get released because they made a below-the-table agreement with Ferrari.
The Ferrari one probably was released. It was just blocked by Kaspersky.
We lost information.
I know.
Damn Russians.
But no. But
It porpoised off the...
Oh, damn it.
I personally think bar the ruling coming out and the documents obviously giving us more information on what happened, I think it's something that should have never been allowed to happen, regardless of the team radios and all that sort of stuff. Like, the format for one person controlling everything and having that big of a say is just stupid. It's like, why is one person allowed that much responsibility?
The thing that Michael Masi should have been sat down and spoken to after the whole incident in the race before Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia was an
Yeah, where he
absolute
sat
farce.
there at the start and made an agreement with Red Bull as to where they would start Verstappen. I'm going to offer you to start in third place. Well, we'll come back to you, Michael. That he should have been spoken to after that. You can't go making up the rules. But as heartbreaking as it was after Abu Dhabi, all this crap that people are talking about Verstappen being a false champion. He's
a false
not.
champion.
He's not a false champion. He is the champion. At the end of the day, he did nothing wrong. He did absolutely nothing wrong. He led the most laps in a season. He did absolutely nothing wrong in Abu Dhabi. He had dirty driving.
He brake checked Hamilton, and he was a dirty driver multiple times throughout that
There
last
was
season.
also moments in Abu Dhabi where he was kind of reckless in the first lap. He was
No,
pushing his luck.
I don't think Abu Dhabi he did anything
Let's
wrong.
think back to Schumacher and how reckless he was. You know.
Yeah, but Schumacher never parked his car on top of someone's head, did he? And then revved the wheel a little bit. Like,
he went over the top
engine.
of somebody's head once. Senna. Let's think of what Senna did to Prost. Or what Prost did to Senna more in my liking. You know.
Well,
Balestra
did to Senna in '89.
Yeah,
led
Balestra
to
was
what Senna did to
disgrace.
Prost in '90.
I'm
Balestra
sorry,
was
Chris.
disgraceful.
I completely disagree with you. You cannot call someone a valid champion when it was gifted to them and the race was not equal. An outside force changed the outcome, the same as if I was to go and drug a horse and bet on it. How it wasn't criminal and illegal for him to do what he done is like the fact that we now have the multiple people that can make a decision together, I think is, as much as I hate what happened, and I really hate it, as I obviously in the podcast and stuff said, this is the only glimmer of light that comes out of that situation where it cannot happen again.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's true. I think everyone knew it was messed up, from fans to betting companies knew it was. I mean, Paddy Power paid out on all bets for Hamilton and Verstappen. as Chris says, oh yeah, sure, he did nothing wrong in Abu Dhabi on track. Like Verstappen, whilst he was gifted the title, he didn't have a say in being gifted the title. For me, you could also say the false champion thing is because from round one he had team orders. He always had the best car, apart from maybe in Brazil when Mercedes had a super engine. That might be the only race last season he didn't have the best car. I mean, the reason that Red Bull didn't win the Constructors' Championship last season was because they prioritised the Drivers' Championship and they screwed Checo in a few races, which meant that they got jumped by both Mercedes cars. And Christian Horner even said, no one remembers who wins the Constructors' Championship. Everyone remembers the Drivers' Championship. And that's why they went for the drivers.
I don't know. I disagree.
The money comes from the constructors.
Yeah.
Money comes from the constructors, but you don't need to worry about money when you're owned by a massive drinks brand.
The one that annoys me as well is that the attitude that Christian Horner and Max Verstappen do have at the minute about the sacking of Masi. Like, Karen Horner is kicked in already.
Yeah, I did like the Red Bull press releases that came throughout the day via Andrew Benson at BBC F1. He said, he reported the Christian Horner stuff about the side pods. Then he retracted it. Then he said, no, it did happen, but Red Bull then released their own statement counteracting that, saying they weren't going to protest and they have no further comment.
And then said
but
it was
somewhere
legal.
in that they also made they said it was legal. And then, I mean, throughout the whole, at the last test, Red Bull have gone illegal, no comment, illegal, legal, no comment, legal, I think is how it's gone. Which is just ridiculous.
I think whenever Mercedes looked like they were slow and in trouble, suddenly the car became legal.
That's it, yeah.
And
it's all legal when you lose it.
And they were questioning the wing mirrors, saying that the wing mirror was being used as part of the crash structure for the side impact, and that shouldn't be allowed to be on there. But then they went and done it themselves.
Well, it's also Red Bull went and complained about the wing mirror on the crash structure, and then
which was designed by
really
Red Bull.
Complain about it because they designed the crash structure. That is designed by Red Bull, like I think the ECU is designed by McLaren. It's a lot of teams have put standard components into a Formula One car, so they can't really complain like that.
I just want to say that obviously, with him going and it being a more what I would call safer decision making scheme with the personnel that are in place and stuff like that, it's obviously something like this is not going to happen again because it was so wrong, which is why they now have to have the structure that they've got. But I'm looking forward to some racing. I'm not going to lie, it kind of feels like a weight is lifted off me that I don't have to worry about this happening again to Hamilton, to Max, because I would have been saying the exact
Carlos.
same. Yeah, Carlos. To anybody, because if any driver had that happen to them, I'd have been screaming exactly the same, regardless of if I'm a Hamilton fan or not. If Hamilton had it, the cars cleared between him and Max, I would have said that Hamilton didn't deserve that championship, because it's one to lose by strategy, but to lose by external interference in the matter is unfair.
What makes me nervous is they've got a VAR style system.
VAR is useless.
Are they over the line? Are they not over the line? Are they all four?
Isn't that how you won a Premier League title,
is this
Chris? I thought you'd be happy.
Bring things in. Hey, it went well for us yesterday, didn't it? Manchester United one VAR decision behind us.
As you can tell by their thick accents, Chris is a Liverpool fan and Dan is a Man United fan.
And Dan cannot say anything when his team's in sixth, so I can't say nothing.
Anyway, getting back to the sport that you all listen to us for, I just want to say I am really excited for the season ahead because I have no idea right now who's fastest, because whilst Red Bull did the fastest time, they had the best car last year. Haas did the second fastest time in testing, and they had the worst car last year. And there's no way that is reflective. It's going to be crazy. I mean, some teams, their best time was 4 seconds off the pace, and we know that's not going to be true.
Let's be honest, Haas set those fastest times at the coolest part of the day when they had their extra running. And
look, can't tell
we
fuel
haven't
runs.
seen
We
haven't seen Mercedes full pace yet. Even if they are running, even if they are in trouble, we still haven't seen their pace. And Verstappen came out and said that they aren't running their full pace yet.
Yeah, but he's going to have to say that, isn't he? He's going to have to say, oh, no, it's all psychological mind games. Exactly the same as Lewis Hamilton saying, we're not quite there yet, again, but we're going to catch up and then be 4 seconds ahead.
Wins the first race.
Yeah. But no, I just want to say as well, how good do those cars look?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely stunning visually. I love the design.
I like the front wing. I like the DRS. Even the DRS looks nice, like the way it's molded. I like all of the liveries, even the BWT. And I can't wait to see 22 cars line up.
That McLaren just pops.
Just all of the cars, they just look sexy. It is a sexual grid.
There's not what I said, McLaren.
McLaren pops. Ferrari looks like the early 1990s, and it's stunning.
1994. Yeah, bang on at the front.
Exactly, 94. And then you've got the Williams looks great.
Right, Aston Martin looks amazing.
Oh yeah, Aston Martin.
They all look great.
They all look good. Right,
Aston
Chris?
Martin's my favorite.
No, Reese, are you going to wrap it up now?
I got one question for you all as we wrap this podcast up. So come to Chris first, then Danny, then Dan. Knowing
Why Dan's
as little
before Danny?
Because Danny likes to go before Dan, and he'd always just jump in anyway. They're nodding in agreement. So anyway, I'm going to ask you guys one question, knowing as little as you know right now. Chris, who's going to be the drivers' champion at the end of the year?
Carlos Sainz.
Oh.
Danny?
I really, really don't know. I really don't know. But if I'm gonna if I'm playing the numbers game in my head, it's gonna be Max. I think Max will repeat as champion.
Talk about playing it safe.
No, I just see a very similar storyline to Alonso, 2005, 2006, with this. But yeah, that's if I'm playing the numbers game, it's going to be Max. But I just have Max slightly ahead of Hamilton, Leclerc. I think Leclerc is somebody that's being slept on. He was a fantastic driver 2019, albeit with an illegal engine in Ferrari. But last year he did have 2 poles. So when he has something that's going to be close to his favor, Leclerc jumps on that situation, and I think he'll give Max a run for money.
We only wanted one driver off it.
I'm sorry, I can talk. I'm sorry.
I mean, Danny thinks that also that Kevin Magnussen has a chance. Lance Stroll also might have a chance of winning it. There's a good chance that Esteban Ocon will win the title, but
I think Latifi could do it.
Well,
he's got a good car.
He's Red Bull's third driver, but he doesn't receive their points.
All right.
Is it just me? Sorry, I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting here, but is it just me that finds it a bit weird that McLaren are considering taking a driver who drives for a Renault party, Alpine team, and letting them drive their Mercedes car?
Well, I think when the options are Nick De Vries, Oscar Piastri, or Stoffel Van Dorn, if Nick De Vries isn't available, I would much rather have Oscar Piastri over Stoffel Van Dorn.
Yeah, and you've got to think about what kind of information can be shared. What information really going to be shared?
All information, anything he remembers, that's his knowledge, and he'll take that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a lot.
But I'm saying, I'm sure McLaren and specifically Mercedes are going to be there monitoring that data information and able to, pass that information to Piastri.
And if you think about it, he'll be the only driver that'll have driven the Renault, the Mercedes, and the Ferrari engine.
True. Dan, who's your drivers' champion?
I'm going to do a bold prediction and say Sebastian Vettel.
That is very bold.
That is very hopeful.
Very hopeful, very popular if it happens.
He is a multiple champion.
You're trying to play the let's get my numbers up game, aren't you?
No, I'm working on the fact that...
You need
Dan
your Twitter
approval
handle.
ratings have just gone through the roof.
Right.
Throw Dan's Twitter handle out there.
Right. Mate, I can't put my Twitter handle out because it comes with the OnlyFans page. But listen, right, let's break it down realistically, right? New season, new car, new tyres, same engine, right? Porpoising, a man drink your drink. Right, you've got another multi-world champion in Sebastian. The car is half decent now. I think if they make gains and understand the tyres within the first 3 races, they are going to be up there. But then so may everybody else. But I think when you've got a driver like Sebastian, you've got a good chance.
He would be the people's choice to be a champion.
He's definitely people's choice. Him or Lando would be people's choice. But my choice my choice is the same as Chris's. I'm being quite risky here by saying my favourite driver is going to get the world championship, but I do think Carlos Sainz is going to be world champion at the end of the year. If that Ferrari is good as everyone thinks it is, and the fact that he beat Leclerc in his first season in a team which Leclerc has had seasons with, I think it should be Carlos Sainz's title.
To be fair, anyone other than Max, I'm cool with. Just putting it out there. Anybody could win.
I want to see Lewis get his 8th title. I want to see him break that record.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but everybody wants to see that. And to be fair, he should already have that title.
Funny enough, nobody's mentioned George Russell.
No, because we don't want to jinx him. Shut up, Chris. Shut up. Don't bring George into this.
George, you know the rules!
No. Shush,
you know the rules!
George, Lewis is faster than you. No, he's not. He's 10 seconds back.
One more question and then I'm completely done and you can wrap up, right? How long was the deal for the Miami one? How long was that for?
Wasn't that 2028?
Yeah, I think it was 28 or 26.
That's right. So at least like 2 or 3, 4 years. That's fine. That'd be good. It's something that I didn't look into when we spoke about it last time. That's all.
Sorry, aren't they talking about the possibility of 3 races in America this season?
What, with one replacing
Russia?
Oh, I tell you, that would really piss him off, wouldn't it, if they replace him with the US?
Well, we had a poll in our Formula One page on Facebook, and who won it?
Turkey, which won it, and then it was Sepang, Malaysia was second.
Mine
then
did
it
not
was
win. I was absolutely gutted.
Then it was Legoland. So take what you want from that poll.
Yeah.
My McLaren arrives tomorrow. Talk about
Lego McLaren.
I thought it was one that you pedal, like a remote control one.
No. I'm small enough. I could probably fit into it.
Yeah, but Chris, you can't pedal it, can you?
It's about the size of the spider I took off my ceiling the other day.
Hey, where the fuck do you live, South Africa?
Yeah, you're in Australia.
You want to see some of the stuff that came out of my Bergens when I came back from Iraq, I tell you. We and the missus were sitting there and there was a spider like that size just come tottering across the carpet.
Yeah, I'd let the spider keep the house. Welcome, Mr. Spider.
Yeah, we evacuated.
See you later, buddy.
Fumigators.
I can't believe you bring up an awesome travel story about a spider you brought back from Iraq at the end of the podcast when we have to wrap it up. So if you want to hear about Chris's spider,
bird-eating spiders or something.
That's insane. But like I say, we've got a good hook now. So if you want to hear Chris's amazing spider story, make sure you tune in a couple of weeks' time for the next episode of the Formula One Fans UK podcast. Make sure you connect with us on all our socials. There's a link to that in the bio of this podcast. As always, everyone, thank you very much for listening. And until next time, when we talk about spiders and other things that are scary, but not the Wart and not Michael Masi, because they're now barred from the podcast. Cheerio, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.
Cheerio, guys.
This podcast is sponsored by Apex Tracks. For all your 3D printed track wall art needs, head to apextracks.com. That's apextraxs.com.